All right, good morning, guys. All right, guys, good morning. Paul Bates here. Welcome aboard Southern Estate as we prepare her for departure. We've been at Aqua Marina here for over a month now, or no, right at a month, and we're getting ready to depart today. And today's video is all about what we do to prep the boat for departure. And because it's been a long week and we've spent the whole week getting the boat ready. And a couple of things key things that I learned is when I first started America's Great Loop, over 6,000 or right at 6,000 miles ago, 5 months ago today, I didn't know what I was doing. I had no clue what I was doing or how to set the boat up or anything. And then in the middle of the loop, to throw the confusion in there, we also switched boats and jumped on Southern Estate now. We went from Loop Princess to Southern Estate. Well, in that process, I had no clue what I was doing. I hadn't been through a lock. Today, if you count the locks that I've been through 100, just a little over 140 locks. To complete America's Great Loop, there's 155 locks in the system, and I've been through now about 140 of them. We've got about 15 locks left on our way to Mobile Bay, which is basically where we cross wakes and complete America's Great Loop. So one of the big things that I learned, and I spent a little time on this last week, getting the boat ready, is docking or going through the locks. And every lock is different. Every situation's different. Every state sets their locks up different. Some of them you supply the lines for. Some of them most of them they supply the lines for. Some of them are on floating balyards. Some of them are just on lines that you hold. Well, getting the boat up to the wall is a whole different beast. And when I first started America's Great Loop, I had no clue what I was doing. I didn't even have the slightest clue. And I'm going to work, as soon as we get through a couple locks here, I'll do a video and show you guys what we did now to prepare for the locks. Because what I did is I added 3 cleats down each side of the boat. And that way I can adjust my buoys to height anytime I want to. So that was one thing that I did. Didn't have my mic on. Sorry about that. Anyway, I didn't, man, that's stupid. Anyway, I didn't know what I was doing. And so we were just every time we hand adjust the lines. So now I have a cleat that I can tie those buoys off to, and it makes it much easier, much faster. I can just go over, adjust the height, because there'll be hot pockets and holes in the lock walls, and you don't know that until you get into the lock. So that's one of the things that we did this week to make our this next travel more enjoyable. Because now we had 3 people on this boat when we for all of the Erie locks and all that stuff with me, Pete, and Beverly. But Pete's not with us right now, so it's going to be me and Beverly traversing all these locks by ourselves now, and we're in a much bigger boat. Loop Princess was much smaller. But also I've learned going through the locks, different boats make a difference too. So it's not all about the locks. So I've got the dinghy set up. I've changed the engine. So now I have the 15 horse on there. I worked on the crane, the saddle for picking the dinghy up and down to make it easier on me. You guys saw that I added a remote. Anybody watched the video yesterday saw that I had a remote control now. So the crane just works off of a remote control. So I'm able to just handle it all by myself, which makes it great. Also, we got to put the carpet in for Daisy. I cleaned that, washed that. Groceries. We went to the grocery store. Bev cooks a lot, prepping for meals. And then another thing that you don't even think about is I had to go to the bank. I had to go get some cash. I went because I got $5 bills for our dock hands. I tip our dock hands when I'm out here on the loop. And also, I like to have enough cash on the boat that if I had to pay for a tank of fuel, I can do that. I don't carry a lot of cash on the boat, but I do carry enough to, if I had to get $200 or $300 worth of fuel, I should easily be able to cover that. Also, if I want to go grab a pizza or something, or just some fast food something, or while we're out, I can just grab some cash and go do that. So I do have a little bit of cash aboard. So it's one of the things that we do to prep before we leave for America's Great Loop. Also, all of our affairs and business have to be in order. This jaunt right here that we're doing from Iuka, Mississippi, over to Denapolis, Alabama, It takes us about 3 to 4 days, and there's several locks to go through, and it all depends on how we get through those locks. So our plan is for tonight is we're going to go over to Bay Springs, and that's another part of the planning that we have to do. I have to get out the GPS. I have to go through, find all the locks, find all the bridges, make sure we can clear the heights. If I have to adjust for anything for that, because I can get this boat down to 15 feet if I have to, but there's none of that on this river. Everything is fine. Once I get out of this coverage slip, I'll be able to raise my antennas, and I'm done for the remainder of the loop. I won't have to mess with that. Thank God. I love that. So anyway, but those are all things that I have to do. And then, so I get on the GPS. Bev will get out our guide. We use a Captain John's guide, and we just kind of follow through the book there. We read along with what he suggests, and then we have to make our own decisions. And I'll go through then. I'll plot it on Active Captain, and then I'll look at all the stops and look at my fuel. I planned out my fuel stop. I don't need any fuel till I complete the loop, but I like keeping my tanks full. So I will stop in Midway. We're going to get fuel in Midway. So that'll be the next marina that we pull into. Also, we will not be doing any live videos from now until next Monday. So I hope everybody's having a wonderful holiday weekend. We will not see you guys live anyway until next Monday, and that's when you should be in Dinopolis. Everything goes well and the boat runs good. We should be in Dinopolis next, I think Thursday or Friday is what we plan on right now. We keep our schedule fairly flexible because you just never know weather, or we might find a place that we like for a little while and we may stay there for an extra day or so. But I have a lot of projects to get done in Dinopolis, and we've also changed our plans just a little bit. And some of those are, I really want to get the solar panels on the boat, so that's going to be a big project. And then the windlass, I have to. There's a piece the piece that actually holds the chain and picks the chain up. That I need to replace that when I get to Dinopolis, because as we venture on and head out to the Keys and over to the Bahamas, and especially in the Bahamas, and I would imagine the Keys too, anchoring is going to be a lot of what we have to do. We're not going to have a choice, and that there's a gear that's a little bit wore out on the windlass, so I want to replace that before I have any problems with it. Also, the guy that we bought the boat from originally, Amy, has a brand new 3/8 chain for this boat. Might make arrangements to go pick that up. The plan was when I went by his house, which is further up the Florida coast, we were going to go pick that chain up, but it's something I can think about. Anyway, today's video is about us prepping the boat and getting it ready for a 4-day journey now, which is probably a couple hundred miles. It's a little less than a couple hundred miles, but we're also in a 7-knot boat. So all the groceries have been bought. We've got cash. You guys saw me yesterday. Everybody watched the video yesterday, saw me down in the engine room. I spent about an hour and a half down there just checking all the filters, checking fuel lines, checking hose clamps, checking everything, just to make sure that everything was all right. And, and just double checking everything. 2 days ago, I started the engines. I put them in forward and reverse, just make sure everything's all right. And everything is all right. So there's a lot to get in one, especially a 50-foot boat, and it's just me and Beverly and Daisy. Don't forget about Daisy. And we manage this boat, and we have to pull it in and out of the marinas and do it all now by ourselves. It was a lot easier when I had Pete aboard, but now that we're basically, we're not single-handed, we're double-handed. It takes, and we're trying to make it easier on ourselves, not harder on ourselves, and being organized and having everything set in place so we know exactly when to throw it and how we're going to approach these locks, and experience. A lot of it was experience. So anyway, I will see you guys next week. Monday, I'll post something, probably do something like debriefing of the cruise is what I'll do. The 5-day cruise is for that following Monday, and we'll go live with that. Also, the next week, I really want to start talking about my life and how I got here on these live videos a little bit, and share with you guys how all that happened and what I do to make a living right now, and how I sustain this lifestyle. And a lot of it's just living within my means, but there's a lot to it. It was more than I realized when I really thought about it and started talking about it with other people. Anyway, Paul Bates, peace out. Be good or be good at it. We'll see you guys next Monday for these live video. And make sure you're paying attention, because I will be posting videos every day. Maybe not every day of the journey, but I'll try to. If I have good internet connection, I'll do it. Anyway, peace out. Thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it.